गुरुन्मिलितं श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु। So Mataji, we'll do a small kirtan. रामचंद्र रघुवीरा रामचंद्र रणधीरा रामचंद्र रघुवीरा रामचंद्र रणधीरा रामचंद्र रघुवीरा आ, रामचंद्र रणधीरा रामचंद्र रघुवीरा रामचंद्र रणधीरा श्रीराम सीताराम राजा राम सीताराम श्रीराम सीताराम राजा राम सीताराम रामचंद्र रघुनाथ रामचंद्र जगन्नाथ रामचंद्र रघुनाथ रामचंद्र जगन्नाथ रामचंद्र रघुनाथ रामचंद्र जगन्नाथ रामचंद्र रघुनाथ रामचंद्र जगन्नाथ श्रीराम सीताराम राजा राम सीताराम श्रीराम सीताराम राजा राम सीताराम रामचंद्र दया सिंधु रामचंद्र मम बंधु 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 श्रीराम सीताराम राजा राम सीताराम श्रीराम सीताराम राजा राम सीताराम रामचंद्र रघुराम रामचंद्र परंधाम रामचंद्र रघुराम रामचंद्र परंधाम रामचंद्र रघुराम रामचंद्र परंधाम रामचंद्र रघुराम रामचंद्र परंधाम श्रीराम सीताराम राजा राम सीताराम श्रीराम सीताराम राजा राम सीताराम श्रीराम सीताराम राजा राम सीताराम. Yeah. So today we will be continuing discussion about the pastimes of Lord Rama. Okay, we have been discussing that section of Srimad Bhagavatam in the 9th canto, wherein there is a discussion. Srila Sukdev Goswami says to Parishad Maharaj, you must have heard a lot of narrations of Ramayana, and you must have heard a lot about the pastimes of Lord Rama. So briefly, I will kind of discuss some of those pastimes of Lord Rama. So currently, we are discussing that section of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So we are in Canto 9, 11th chapter, right? 11th chapter, where the chapter is titled Lord Ramachandra Rules the World. Okay, and yeah, yeah, we have to continue the discussion from text 25. I'll start sharing my screen. Yeah, before we start, yeah, 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 yeah. Before I start, I offer my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas in the call. Um, Please bless me so that I can speak whatever is knowledge is coming in the disciplic succession, whatever I have heard, and I represent the message of the scriptures as it is. I seek your blessings, and at this point, also I offer my praise to Prabhu Ram, the most merciful. He's the most merciful. We can understand the nature of Lord Rama in that section of Ramayana when where Vibhishana comes to take shelter from Lord Rama. All his associates they have been debating whether they should accept Vibhishana, knowing that Vibhishana is the younger brother. Essentially like a demon. He's brother of Ravana, so all his associates were very much debating. They were debating whether they should actually accept Vibhishana when he comes to take shelter from Prabhu Ram. um, Through all the discussions were going on towards the end, Prabhu Ram says, it is not about Vibhishana. It is not about Vibhishana whether we should give him shelter or not. It is about me. I am I am a God. I am the one who actually gives shelter, who protects or takes anyone into my fold if they just happen to say once that I am yours. So if we just say once that Prabhu Ram, Tava Asmi, I am yours, then the Lord is ready to accept us. I I, I think this is mercy beyond, beyond any imagination. Just that, all we need to say once, right? Tava Asmi, I am yours. Prabhu Ram, I am yours. Right? So that is actually all that we need to be under the shelter of Prabhu Ram, right? So I seek prayers from Prabhu Ram to be actually able to speak something here. And in the last discussion that was there yesterday, Prasad Prabhuji had very nicely given the glories of Prabhu Ram and Mother Sita, understanding the pastimes of how the acharyas have given how it should be understood. There could be many representations, many different concocted understandings, speculations, but Prabhuji has very nicely glorified Prabhu Ram and Mother Sita. And during that discussion, particularly in the ninth chapter, ninth canto, 11th chapter, verse 23, Srimad Bhagavatam is saying that hearing to the pastimes of Prabhu Ram, it says specifically that the text 23 says, when we hear to the pastimes of Prabhu Ram, we can actually get free from the disease of envy and thus be liberated from the bondage of fruitive activities. So that is how glorious to hear narrations of the characteristics of Prabhu Ram, his pastimes, that one will be freed from the disease of envy. As conditioned souls, envy is something which is very difficult to deal with. It is like um, it is sometimes very much dormant, sometimes it is very obvious, it is very much visible, right? So, as devotees, we also understand how difficult enemies to deal with. But just a oral reception, right? Whoever is listening to the pastimes of Prabhu Ram, they can be freed from this disease of envy and be liberated from the bondage of creative activities. So Srimad Bhagavatam is giving that assurance, right? That this is also the reason why we should endeavor to hear to the pastimes of Prabhu Ram. This section of towards the end of the 11th chapter, we will hear to the glories of Lord Ramachandra and how opulent his kingdom was, how it was in Ayodhya, how the residents of Ayodhya actually made most out of the presence of the Lord amongst them, right? So how they actually welcomed him, how they gave him lot of um, lot of respect, and how they welcomed him, how Ayodhya was in itself a very opulent kind of a place, right? So those descriptions we will hear. Okay, yeah, we will start with the 25th verse. Sri Bhadrayaniर्वाचा Ata Disha Digvijaye Bratrim Strim Bhuvaneshwara Atmanam Darshayan Swanam Purim Aikshata Saguna. Yeah. Can someone please read the translation and purport?
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mataji, for taking the class.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, thank
Uh,
you.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah.
Sukadeva Goswami replied, after accepting the throne of the governing government by the fervent request fervent request of his younger brother Bharata, Lord Ramachandra ordered his younger brother to go out and conquer the entire world, while he personally remained in the capital to give audience to audience to all the citizens and residents of the place and supervise the governmental affairs with his other assistants purpose. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not allow any of his devotees or assistants to be engaged in sense gratification. The younger brother of Lord Ramchandra were at home enjoying personal presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the Lord ordered them to go out and achieve victory all over the world. It was the custom, and this custom is in some places, it is still occurrent, that all the other kings would have to accept the supremacy of the emperor. If the king of a small state did not accept the emperor's supremacy, there would be a fight, and the king of the small state would be obliged to accept the emperors as a supreme. Otherwise, it would not possible for the emperor to rule the country. Lord Ramachandra showed his favor to his brother by ordering him to go out. Many of the Lord's devotees residing in Vrindavan have taken the vow not to leave Vrindavan to preach Krishna consciousness. But the Lord says that Krishna consciousness should be spread all over the world, in every village and every town. This is the open order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Uh, Chautara Mataji, a slokam.
Sure, Prabhuji. Prithvi Teya Cheyata Nagaradi Grama Sarvatra Prachara Haibe Muranama.
Hare. A pure devotee therefore must execute the order of the Lord and must not gratify his sense by remaining stagnant in one place, falsely, falsely proud, thinking that because he does not leave Vrindavan but chants in a solitary place, he has become a great devotee. A devotee must carry out the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Pyare dekhe tare kahe Krishna Upadesh. Every devotee therefore should spread Krishna consciousness by preaching, asking whoever he meets to accept the order of Supreme Personality Godhead. The Lord says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. This is the order of the Lord, who speaks as the Supreme Emperor. Everyone should be induced to accept this order. For this is victory, Dig Vijaya, and it is the duty of the soldier, the devotee, to impress upon everyone this philosophy of life. Of course, those who are Kanistha Adhikari do not preach, but the Lord shows mercy on them also, and He did by staying personally in Ayodhya to give audience to the people in general. One should not mistakenly think that the Lord asked his younger brother to leave Ayodhya because he especially favored the citizens. The Lord is merciful to everyone, and he knows how to show his favor to each individual person according to his capacity. One who abides by the order of the law is a pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now, after describing the pastimes of Lord Rama, uh, Lord Rama has actually come to Ayodhya, and he's actually uh, taken the role of the king, right? So that is the desire of the residents of Ayodhya. That is the desire of his younger brother Bharata. So the Lord actually takes to the throne, and he becomes the king. And after the Lord becomes the king, he actually he doesn't actually uh, he keep his brothers, right? He doesn't keep his brothers with him. Instead, he actually asks them to go around the world and conquer the entire world, while he is actually personally with the residents of Ayodhya, and he's supervising their affairs and all the governmental affairs, staying in Ayodhya. He asks his brothers to actually go around the world and conquer. Srila Prabhupada actually says in his purport that this is how the Lord is engaging everyone, right? So it is everyone should be engaged accordingly, and they should not be an opportunity indulge oneself in sense gratification. So that is why the Lord is engaging his brothers, and instead of definitely they grew up together, it would have been more like more being togetherness if his brothers would have stayed with him. But instead the Lord actually sends them on service, on conquering the world, and establishing the kingdom, strengthening the kingdom, right? And this is, Srila Prabhupada says, it is a common practice during that time for the emperor of the world to establish his supremacy by either having the smaller kings accept his supremacy, or fight with them to actually establish his supremacy. If they are not ready to accept his supremacy, then what will ensue is a fight to actually establish his supremacy. So this is a common thing. And Lord Ramachandra, and this is how he engaged his brothers. If we see in the purport, it says Lord Ramachandra showed his favor to his brothers by ordering them to go out. Them is actually with a capital T. His brothers are also expansions of the Supreme Lord. When we started discussing the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, we know his brothers are also expansions of the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada addresses them with a capital T, or with the respect that we generally give to God and His expansions when we write. Right. So this is something we can observe here. And a while ago, I said Prabhu Ram is very merciful, and he will accept us. That is the good news. But I also have some bad news for all of you. Um, for people who are who are very much like the millennials or the latest generations living in India, maybe we have not seen much of war as such. We have not seen much of emergency except for last year, last few. There were occasions where we were near war situations with our neighbors, but we have not seen war. But the bad news that I have is actually all of us are in a war like situation. All of us are in a war with Maya, actually. Some might not realize it. Some are not understanding the gravity of the situation. We all have, but we have understood, or we are trying to understand to various degrees, that this is not our the place we belong to. We belong to some other place. We belong to Goloka. We belong to Vaikunta. We have eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord, and that is where we have to be. And in this attempt to actually go back to Godhead, we are in a war-like situation where we are actually at war, constantly at war with Maya. So this is actually, it is very, very serious situation. It is sometimes we have to let it sink in and understand the gravity of the situation, that this is the war we are in, and how we have to have the required ammunition. Srila Prabhupada is leading all of us in this fight. He is actually helping us. Our spiritual masters are helping us to actually fight this war against Maya and go back to Godhead. And in this process, we have to have that ammunition. We have to strengthen our sadhana. We have to strengthen our spiritual practices. We have to spread, we have to build more soldiers. We have to build more soldiers. We have to spread this movement. We have to spread Krishna consciousness. We have to preach Krishna consciousness, as told by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to every corner possible. We have to spread the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have to spread the Sankirtan movement, and we have to also do activities which actually strengthen our fight. Right, in this war we have to, so there are different fronts in which the war is fought. So there, in different fronts, we have to strengthen ourselves. We have to, like Prabhu Ram engaged his brothers, we have to engage ourselves constantly in activities of which are directly or indirectly centered around Krishna, or in Krishna consciousness. So this is something which has to be done. It could be book distribution, it can be preaching activities, it can be other activities which support them, right? So this is a constant attempt to actually be in the war and win the war, right? So this is how serious situation it is. Sometimes it looks, we don't really understand the seriousness. So that is how it is. And yeah, so Srila Prabhupada is taking this opportunity in this purport to actually make us emphasize how important it is to spread this word of Krishna consciousness, how important it is actually to preach, how it is to kind of bring bring conditioned souls closer to Krishna, right? And it is the duty of everyone, right? So in various capacities, it is duty of everyone. So at whichever level one is, one has that duty, that responsibility to actually take forward this mission. And towards the end, Srila Prabhupada also says that uh, to understand the behavior or the actions of the Supreme Lord, Prabhu Ram, when he sends his brothers to kind of establish the supremacy, establish the kingdom, and he personally stays back with the residents of Ayodhya, Srila Prabhupada says this is according to what everyone needs, right? According to what everyone needs, the Lord actually provides for them, right? It is not that the Lord is favoring the citizens by staying with them, or he is somewhat averse to his brothers that he is actually sending them. That is not the situation. So the Lord actually favors, or actually gives us according to what we require, right? So that is how the Lord is, and it is not any kind of discrimination. It is not any kind of, you know, preference over one over the other, right? The Lord is merciful to everyone. So it's we always understand it is the Lord is our Father. As anyone who is a parent, especially if you have more than one child, if you have two children, three children, you will definitely realize that as a parent, you have the same affection. At times, whatever is needed by that particular child, we kind of give it to them. Situations might need more attention for one child at a time. Situations might need more care for them. And sometimes it is another child who needs attention, care. But parent does not actually favor, right? So that is the ideal behavior of parent, that it will not favor. The Supreme Lord is our Father. He says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the seed-giving Father. So He is the Father. He cannot, in the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the Lord even does not uh, stay averse even to the demons, right? He is equal even like to the demons. But the reciprocation depends on what we are, or how we are actually uh, prioritizing, how we are actually putting the Supreme Lord in front of everything. How we say that we have surrendered or we have sheltered to the Supreme Lord. Surrender and shelter is an ongoing process. Lot of times, we understand, even Bhagavad Gita says that we surrender to the Supreme Lord. In essence, it says, give up all forms of religion, on everything, just surrender onto me, is what the Supreme Lord says. Surrender is an ongoing process, and every day we put in our efforts to increase our faith, increase the level of surrender we have towards the Supreme Lord, towards the spiritual master, towards the spiritual mentor, and all those whom we actually look up to for guidance, and we are look up for mentorship, right? We have to increase our the level of surrender by each day. That should actually be one of the things that we have to constantly endeavor. Some days it slackens. Some days it looks like a very weak signal, like the phone signal becomes weak. Our connection to the Supreme Lord, our connection through the Supreme Lord, through the spiritual master, through the spiritual mentor, through the Vaishnavas, through senior Vaishnavas, the signal seems weak. Some days the signal seems weak. But endeavor is constantly to strengthen that signal, constantly improve on that connection. That is our constant endeavor. And this is something which we should always keep at. Okay. Yeah, let us move on to the next verse. आसिक्तमार्गां गन्धोदयैकरिणामर शिखरै स्वामिनां प्राप्तम् आलोक्य मत्तां वासुतारम् इव. Yeah, can someone please read the translation and purport?
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Translation. During the reign of Lord Ramachandra, the state of capital Ayodhya were sprinkled with perfumed water and drops of perfumed liquor thrown by the elephants from their trunks. When the citizens saw the Lord personally supervising the affairs of the city in such as opulence, they appreciated this opulence very much. Purport. When we have simply heard about the opulence of Ramarajya during the reign of Lord Ramachandra. Now here is one of the example of the opulence of the Lord's kingdom. The streets of Ayodhya were not only cleaned but also sprinkled with perfumed water and drops of perfumed liquor, where we which were distributed by elephants through their trunks. There was no need to need of sprinkling, no need for sprinkling machines. For the elephants has a natural ability to suck the water through its trunk and again throw it out in like a shower in a shower. We can understand the opulence of the city from this one example. It was actually sprinkled with perfumed water. Moreover, the citizens had the opportunity to see the lords personally supervising the affairs of the state. He was not a sleeping monarch, as we can understand from his activities in sending his brother to see the affairs of outside the capital and punish anyone who did not obey the emperor's order. This is called Digvijaya. The citizens were all given facilities for peaceful life, and they were also qualified with the appropriate attributes according to Varnashrama. As we have seen from the previous chapters, uh, Varnashrama, Guna, uh, Guna, Gunanvitaha. The citizens were trained according to the Varnashrama system. A class of men were Brahmanas, a class of men were Kshatriyas, a class were Vaishyas, and a class were Shudras. Without this scientific division, there can be no question of good citizenship. The king, being magnanimous and perfect in his duty, performed many sacrifices and treated the citizens as his sons and citizens the citizens, being trained in the Varnashrama system, were obedient and perfectly ordered. The entire monarch was so opulent and peaceful that the government was even able to sprinkle the streets with perfumed water. That what to speak of other management. Since the city was sprinkled with perfumed water, we can simply imagine how opulent it was in other aspects. Why should the citizens not have felt happy during the reign of Lord Ramchandra? Hare
Very good. Yeah. So, Srimad Bhagavatam goes further to describe the Rama Rajya, right? How the streets of Ayodhya were. In the streets of Ayodhya, Sukadeva Goswami is telling that perfumed water was sprinkled. It's not just keeping the streets clean, keeping everything clean, but Ayodhya and Ramaraja, there was so much of opulence in the sense that even the streets were sprayed with perfumed water. And Srila Prabhupada notes that how elephants were used to actually sprinkle this perfumed water and liquor. So actually, everywhere there is this wonderful fragrance, and it is a reflection of the opulence of the city. And if to that detail the residents of the kingdom were taken care of, the streets are so well maintained and so opulent, we can imagine how the residents were living and how much of opulence they themselves had, how much in the reign of Prabhu Ram. So the Srila Prabhupada is asking that in such a situation, how can one not be happy under the rule of Prabhu Ram? Prabhu Ram also was is Maryada Purushottam. So he is known for his wonderful um, character, which he actually is like setting as an example to everyone, right? So that is how glorious Prabhu Ram is, and in his kingdom the just the to the lowest detail probably is that the streets were even sprayed with the perfume, right? So that kind of opulence was there. And Prabhu Ram used to personally supervise, the governmental affairs, and he used to give his association to the residents of Ayodhya. He is he kept himself very much involved in the day-to-day administration and affairs, and even it is said during his reign the Varnashrama system was followed, and since the Varnashrama system was followed in the proper way, it actually kind of uh, it was a very wonderful um, period, or it was wonderful reign, we can all say, because since the varnashram system was in place, everyone was performing their duties accordingly, and everything was very, very much as it has to be, right? So since the system was being followed and it was perfectly in order, and the citizens also had great respect, and they were very obedient to Prabhu Ram. And Prabhu Ram also had lot of concern for his for the citizens of his kingdom, and he took lot of care for them, right? So that is, it is a wonderful reign. This is when the Supreme Lord comes as Prabhu Ram, and he is ruling right in this earthly realm. We can imagine how it would be in Goloka, how would it be in his abode, right? So how, what can we expect in his abode? So this is what Sukadev Goswami is narrating, is what is happening in the earthly realm, and how Prabhu Ram took care of everyone, and what was the state of the how his reign went when he was here personally. We can imagine what can be our experience when we actually go back to the supreme world, right? How 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 we will live, how we can be, right? How we can get the personal association of the Lord, how we can establish our relationship with the Lord, how we can serve the Lord, right? So this is actually wonderful to understand from Srimad Bhagavatam, that what lies ahead on this path of bhakti. Yeah, next verse. Prasada Gopura Sabha Chaitya Deva Grihadishu Vinyasta Hema Kalashai Pataka Vishamanditam. More opulence of Ayodhya. Yeah. Can someone please read the translation? Hare Krishna. Can
Yeah,
someone
I
volunteer to
can
read?
begin.
Sure, Prabhu.
The palaces, the palace gates, the assembly houses, the platforms for meeting places, the temples, and all such places were decorated with golden water pots and bedecked with various types of flags. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is the opulence of the kingdom of Prabhu Ram. We can see how much of everything they were decorated with golden water pots. Gold is something these days that if we say the word, maybe we will incur some money. I think it is so forbidden for the how much it is growing in value. But in Prabhu Ram's reign, we can actually see it. There were places decorated with golden water pots and various types of flags. They were so wonderful, right? Everything was so wonderful, so opulent. Yeah. उगै सवृत्तैरव भाभी पट्टा पट्टिकाभिः सुवाससम् आदर्शैरमुच्छुकैश्चाग्भिः कृतकौतुकतोरणम्. Yeah. More details. Yeah. Can someone read the translation?
Wherever Lord Ramchandra visited, auspicious welcome gates were constructed with banana trees and betel nut trees full of flowers and fruits. The gates were decorated with various flags made of colorful cloth and with tapestries, mirrors, and garlands. Hare Krishna.
This is how Prabhu Ram was welcomed. And we can see how he was welcomed with banana trees, betel nut trees, right? So the custom that we follow when we have banana trees alongside the gates and alongside the doors, this is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam. You can see that it is common to keep those banana trees, betel nut trees, flowers and fruits, right? And decorated with various flags, colorful cloth, lot of colorful decorations with cloths. Maybe these days we do with paper and things like this. Those days they did with cloth, mirrors, garlands, etc. So this is how this people welcomed him wherever he went, right? Prabhu Ram visited. तम् उपेयुस्तत्र तत्र पौरा अर्हनपानय आशीषो युयुज्युर्देवा पाहि मां प्राक्त्वयोधृतम्. Yeah, can someone read the translation?
Hare Krishna.
Please, Mataji,
Translation.
thank you.
Wherever Lord Ramachandra visited, the people approached him with paraphernalia of worship and begged the Lord's blessings. O Lord, they said, as you rescued the earth from the bottom of the sea in your incarnation as a boar, may you now maintain it. Thus, we beg your blessings.
This is the glories of the citizens of Ayodhya. They how much they welcomed Prabhu Ram, how much they glorified him, they worshipped him, and they also sought blessings, right? They sought blessings and they sought protection from Prabhu Ram, right? So such wonderful residents of Ayodhya they are, right? And they are glorifying the Supreme Lord. They are praying to the Supreme Lord. They are seeking blessings. They are glorifying the Supreme Lord. They are saying, just like Varaha in your incarnation of horse, you actually the earth from the lowest of the portions and you took it out and you maintain the earth. You are maintainer. We are seeking your blessings. Please bless us, right? So that is how the residents of Ayodhya are glorifying the Supreme Lord. Yeah, we'll move on. तथा प्रजा वीक्ष्यपतिं चीरागतं दिदीक्षयो तिष्ठिष्टा गृह श्रियो नरा आरुह्य हर्नियानि हि अरविन्दलोचनम् आतृप्तो नेत्रा कुसुमैर्भवाकिरन्. Yeah. Can someone read the translation?
Hello, Mataji.
Yeah, please, Mataji.
Thereafter, not having seen the Lord for a long time, the citizens, both men and women, being very eager to see him, left their homes and got up on the roofs of the palaces, being incompletely satiated with seeing the face of the lotus eyed Lord Ramachandra. They showered flowers upon him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So they're so happy actually to see Prabhu Ram, and then they're showering flowers and they are so eager to see the Lord, right? So we should also be always eager to see the Lord in his deity form, be associated with the Lord in the form of the holy name, and we should also kind of take darshan of the Lord in the dhams. So that eagerness should be there to be an Ayodhya Vasi, right? So this is something the Ayodhya Vasis are teaching us. They are actually showing with their example as to how eager they are to see the Lord, serve the Lord, right? So that may Srimad Bhagavatam provide us that kind of bhakti and that kind of eagerness to actually serve the Lord on. Yeah. अतः प्रविष्टः स्वगृहं जुष्टं स्वैपूर्वराजभिः अनन्ताखिलकोशाध्यम् अनर्घ्ययोरुपरिच्छदम् विद्रुमु तुम्बरद्वारैर्वैदुर्यस्तम्भ पङ्क्तिभिः कलैर्मारकटैः स्वच्छैर्भ्राजत्स्फटिकभित्तिभिः चित्रशाग्भिः पट्टिकाभिः वासो मणिगणां सुखैः मुक्तफलैश्चिदुल्लास्यै कान्ताकामोपापत्तिभिः धूपदीपासुरभिः भिर्मण्डितं पुष्पमण्डनैः श्रीपुंभिसुरासङ्काशैर्जुष्टाम्भूषणभूषणैः. Can someone read the translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Very
Krishna Prabhu.
beautiful explanation, Mataji. Therefore, Lord
Srimad
Ramchandra entered
Bhagavatam.
the palace of his forefathers with a place where various treasures and valuable wardrobes. The sitting places on the two sides of the entrance door were made of coral. The yards were surrounded by pillars of Vaiduryamani. The floors were made of highly polished Marakatamani, and the foundation was made of marble. The entire place were decorated with flags and garlands and bedecked with valuable stones, shining with a celestial effulgence. The place was fully decorated with pearls and surrounded by lamps and incense. The men and women within the palace all resembled demigods and were decorated with various ornaments, which seems beautiful because of being placed on their bodies. Hare Krishna. Super
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Beautiful.
How wonderful! How wonderful is Prabhu Ram's pillars? Palace. Prabhu Ram's palace. How wonderful, right? So, for anyone who has constructed a home, will know how many faces are there. But see how the pillars are made, how the flooring is made, how the foundation is, and how it was decorated. Such wonderful palace of Prabhu Ram, and also the people that are there in his kingdom, how they were resembling demigods. They had so many, they had worn so many ornaments. And Srimad Bhagavatam says the ornaments are looking beautiful because they were worn by these exemplary beings of Ayodhya. Right, so it's not the ornaments bringing beauty, but the ornaments were beautified by because they were adorned by such wonderful citizens of Ayodhya. And this is the opulence of Ramaraja. This is the opulence that that was there in during the reign of Prabhu Ram, right? So the Lord took lot of personal hardships. He took lot of difficulties upon him. But what the residents got, what his associates got, what is there in Ayodhya, what he uh, is giving them is something like very, very opulent, very magnificent. Yeah, we'll move on. तस्मिन् स भगवान् राम स्निग्धाया प्रियाया इष्टया रेमे स्वरामधीराणां ऋषभासीताय किलाम्. Yeah, can someone read the translation?
Lord Ramchandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chief of the best learned scholars, resides in that palace with his pleasure potency, Mother Sita, and enjoyed complete peace. Hare Krishna.
So this is actually Lord Ramachandra. There is description. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually, we have seen descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. Now it is a description of where the Lord lived, how he ruled, right? Bhagavad Gita specifically says the one who knows the activities of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord, the who knows about the Lord is actually will never return back into the cycle of birth and death. So Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us an opportunity to know where the Lord lived along with his concert, Mother Sita, where he lived and how his activities were, how what were the interactions with his residents, right? How his residents welcomed him, they were eager to see him. So all these things have an effect on us to actually break the cycle of birth and death and attain our constitutional position. We move on. Yeah. बुभुजे च यथा कालं कामान् धर्मम् अपीदयान् वर्षपुगान् बहून् दिनाम् अभिध्यायतान् नृपत्पल्लवा. Yeah, translation.
Hare Krishna. Oh,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Shilpa Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandapada.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Daiva Pranam.
Translations and purport by Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation.
Jai.
Now transgressing the religious principles, Lord Ramachandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by devotees in meditation, enjoyed with all the paraphernalia of transcendental pleasure for as long as needed. Thus ends the purpose of 9th Canto, 11th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Ramachandra Rules the World. Very good.
Very cool. Hare Krishna. Jai. So this is an end to the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and it is said throughout his uh, time here on this earthly realm, in this planet, the Supreme Lord actually was setting an example, right? That is why he is called as Maryada Purushottam. So Srimad Bhagavatam emphasizes the same aspect, says without transgressing the religious principles, right? And Lord Ramachandra was here. He was following the religious principles. He was setting example. He was worshipped and he was taken care of and he was revered with all paraphernalia and all opulence was there. Once once it is actually my cousin had come. He was visiting me and he happened to see one devotee and he asked that devotee, why your ISKCON temples worldwide are so opulent. We don't see so much like, opulence elsewhere, but why your temples are so opulent? To that, the devotee had a very nice answer. I was very inspired that I want to share his answer. Wherever the Lord is, his concert, Mother Lakshmi is also there, right? So where Lakshmi Devi is there, we can expect that opulence, we can expect that grandeur, that magnificent kind of, atmosphere, environment, that opulence, what we say in very layman terms, that richness, right? So all that where Mother Lakshmi is there, that is why the people pray to Mother Lakshmi. There are separate prayers, there are separate vratas that some women take, right, to pray to Mother Lakshmi, because wherever she is there, there is opulence, there is wealth. She is there. So wherever the Lord is, the mother is there. Mother Sita is there. Mother Lakshmi is there. Shrimati Radharani is there. So those places, the temples are definitely the places where we can see a lot of opulence, right? And all that opulence, all that is for the pleasure of the Lord. The Lord is the supreme enjoyer. It is for the pleasure of the Lord that we see all this, right? So it is actually that is why our temples are worldwide very opulent, and we see a lot of grandeur in our temples, because the Lord is worshipped, the Lord is there, and His eternal concert, the supreme Mother is there, Mother is there, His concert is there, Lakshmi Devi is there. Uh, so also when we say Mother Lakshmi is the bestower of wealth, or there are a lot of rituals that are done for Mother Lakshmi, but what we have to understand is Mother should be worshipped with the Father, right? So it is we have to worship with Lakshmi Devi with Narayan, right? Sita Devi with Ram. The person who wanted only Sita was Ravan. So if someone has this tendency to have want only Lakshmi Devi, this is tendency of Ravan. It is not tendency of a devotee, or anyone who is actually who is leading or who is on a path of bhakti, who is thinking they are worshipping, if they are restricting their worship only to Mother, right? Because that was what Ravan wanted. He only wanted Mother Sita, right? That, and anyone who wants only Lakshmi Devi without Narayan, without serving the Supreme Lord, is actually somewhere mirroring that behavior, right? So one should be very cautious. Always please worship the Lord, Mother with the Lord, and also the Lord with his consort, right? Yeah. Chapter 12 is actually a discussion of the dynasty of Kusha, the son of Lord Ramachandra. So Lord Ramachandra had two sons, Lava Kusha, and this is a description of all the descendants of Kusha. So what we will do in this section of the reading, this entire chapter, is that we will just read the translations. It is just like it's like a family tree. It's genealogy, like whose son is who and after who came. So that is to Srimad Bhagavatam is documenting the lineage of Maharaj Kusha, and it is more on understanding. There's this lineage. Um, Sukadev Goswami also mentions the kings who came before and who come afterwards. So till Kali Yuga, there is this description. So we'll just read through the translations to understand, the descendants of Maharaj Kusha. Okay. So that is just this chapter specifically, it is just reading to understand their names. Yeah. So devotees can just read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Sorry,
Krishna.
Mataji, I had to drop off for some service. Uh, just one question, Mataji. Is
Sure.
this like extension of what Valmiki written, or is it already part of the Valmiki Ramayana, Mataji?
Valmiki has written a detailed description of Ramayana, Prabhuji. What Sukadev Goswami does is he narrates some part of it, right? So it's like
Hmm.
a concise, or it's like a shortened representation of Ramayana. But Ramayana is the detailed description. Anyone who wants to hear to detailed pastimes of Prabhu Ram should read Ramayana, Valmiki's Ramayana. No other forms of Ramayana, Valmiki's Ramayana.
Okay, so this Kusha dynasty of Kusha, everything is already there in the original Ramayana also.
This I am not very sure, Prabhuji, but I'm not sure because I have not read personally Ramayana. I have only heard to the narrations of Ramayana from Valmiki, and this particular, like the descendants of Kusha, I'm not sure, Prabhuji. Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. I need to drop
Hare,
off now. Thanks.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah. Can someone read the translation, please? We'll read the translations to understand the descendants. Would someone like to volunteer? Okay, I will read. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sukadev Goswami said, the son of Ramchandra was Kusha, the son of Kusha was Atiti, the son of Atiti was Nishada, and the son of Nishada was Nabha. The son of Nabha was Pundarika, and from Pundarika came a son named Shema Dhanva. Okay, so this is from Kusha, the kings that followed. Okay, after Shema Dhanva. The son of Shemadhanva was Devanika. Devanika's son was Aniha. Aniha's son was Pariyatra, and Pariyatra's son was Balasthala. The son of Balasthala was Vajranabha, who was said to have been born from the effulgence of the sun god. So such wonderful descendants that there have been. There one is like having effulgence of the sun god. Okay, more about the descendants. The son of Vajranabha was Sagana, and his son was Vidruti, and the son of Vidruti was Hiranyaba, who became the disciple of Jaimini and became a great artistic yoga. It is from Hiranyagarbha that the great saint Yajnavalkya learned the highly elevated system of mystic yoga known as Adhyatma Yoga, which can loosen the knots of material attachment in the heart. Okay, so this is from where even the mystic yoga and Adhyatma Yoga had come from the descendants of Maharaj Kusha. And this yoga can actually loosen the knots of attachment. Okay, more. The son of Hiranyaba was Pushpa, and the son of Pushpa was Dhruva Sandhi. The son of Dhruva Sandhi was Sudarshana, whose son was Agnivarna. The son of Agnivarna was named Shigra, and his son was Maru. Right? So these are further descendants. Notable of them is Maru here. Okay. So we can see there is some more description about Maru. Having achieved perfection in the power of mystic yoga, Maru still lives in a place called Kalapa Grama. At the end of Kali Yuga, he will revive the lost Surya dynasty by begetting a son. So Maru is still living, and he's one of those people who are still living. We know few personalities are known to be still living, and Maru is one of them. And he has a service towards the end of the Kali Yuga to actually extend the Surya dynasty, right? So all this is coming in the Surya dynasty, and towards the Kali Yuga, when it kind of comes to an end, he will extend it by getting a son perpetual by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At least 5,000 years ago, Srila Sukadev Goswami ascertained the existence of Maru in Kalapa Grama and said that Maru, having achieved a yoga siddha body, would continue to exist until the end of Kali Yuga, which is calculated to continue for 4,32,000 years. Such is the perfection of mystic power. By controlling the breath, the perfect yogi can continue his life for as long as he likes. Sometimes we hear from the Vedic literature that some personalities from the Vedic age, such as Vyasadeva and Ashwatthama, are still living. Here we understand that Maru is also living. We are sometimes surprised that a mortal body can live for such a long time. The explanation of this longevity is given here by the word Yoga Siddha. If one becomes perfect in the practice of yoga, he can live as long as he likes. The demonstration of some trifling Yoga Siddha does not constitute perfection. Here is a factual example of perfection. A Yoga Siddha can live as long as he likes. So Maru is actually a Siddha. He has some powers to actually prolong his lifespan, right? So as someone who is a certified professional, I can tell you, if we reduce the number of breaths we take in a certain duration, we are actually improving on our longevity, right? So all of us, what we have to do is we have to consciously take deep inhalation and deep exhalation. So when we kind of uh, reduce the number of breaths we are taking during a particular span, it means we are increasing our lifespan, right? And that is the reason, if we observe, when we are stressed and when we are under some kind of pressure, we tend to take frequent breaths, right? We are literally like we are inhaling, exhaling very fast in very short duration. So that can reduce our life. On the other hand, when we inhale deeply and exhale deeply, it will improve our lifetime and it will improve our well-being. And these are some siddhas and some knowledge that these yoga siddhas have when they practice. That is how they can actually extend their lifespan. Right. Okay. Yeah. From Maru. From Maru was born a son named Prashruta, and from Prashruta came Sandhi. From Sandhi came Amarashana, and from Amarashana a son named Mahaswan. From Mahaswan, Vishwabahu took his birth. Okay, so all interesting names, different names we are getting to hear in the lineage of Maharaj Kusha, right? Very different names and descendants. From Vishwabahu came a son called Prasannajit, and from Prasannajit came Takshaka, and from Takshaka came Brihadbala, who was killed in a fight by your father. So this is where the descendants of Kusha, or descendants of Prabhu Ram, and the pastimes of Krishna and his contemporaries and their descendants, right? So this is where they're ideally kind of meeting. And Brihadbala was a person who was in the lineage of Maharaj Kusha and was killed by the father of Parikshit Maharaj, right? Okay. And then all these kings in the dynasty of Ikshvaku have passed away. Now please listen as I describe the kings who will be born in the future. From Brihadbala will come Brihad Arana. So till the time Sukadeva Goswami is narrating, whoever have come in this lineage, he has mentioned. Now he is mentioning those who are to come, right? So Brihadbala was killed by the father of Parikshit Maharaj, and Brihad Rana is about to come. Okay, more. The son of Brihadrana will be Uruktiya, who will have a son named Vatsavriddha. Vatsavriddha will have a son named Prativyoma, and Prativyoma will have a son named Bhanu, from whom Divaka, a great commander of soldiers, will take birth. Okay, so Sukadev Goswami is telling what is going to happen. Right? Thereafter, from Divaka will come a son called Sahadeva, and from Sahadeva, a great hero named Brihadasva. From Brihadasva will come Bhanuman, and from Bhanuman will come Pratikasva. The son of Pratikasva will be Supratika. Okay, more about the descendants. Okay. And from thereafter, from Supratika will come Marudeva, from Marudeva, Sunakshatra, from Sunakshatra, Pushkara, and from Pushkara, Antariksha. The son of Antariksha will be Sutapa, and his son will be Amitrajit. Okay. More, some more. From Amitrajit will come a son named Brihadraja, and from Brihadraja will come Barhi, and from Barhi will come Kritanjaya. The son of Kritanjaya will be known as Rananjaya, and from him will come a son named Sanjaya. So all these are actually technically the descendants of Prabhu Ram himself, because this is lineage of Kushamaraj, so they are descendants of Prabhu Ram, right? From Sanjaya will come Shakya, from Shakya will come Sudoda, and from Sudoda will come Langala, and from Langala will come Prasannajit, and from Prasannajit Shudraka. Okay, so there's a mention of Prasannajit, another Prasannajit. So we see many times when the lineages are described, some names repeat, some of the kings' names repeat, right? So one such name is Prasannajit, I think. Prasannajit. From Shudraka will come Ranaka, from Ranaka will come Surata, and from Surata will come Sumitra, ending the dynasty. This is the description of the dynasty of Brihadbala. Okay, so these are the kings that who came after Brihadbala, right? So right now that is where Brihadbala is there. Is that he's the contemporary of Parikshit Maharaj's father, right? So that is from there, the rest of the descendants have been described by Sukadev Goswami. The last king in the dynasty of Ikshvaku will be Sumitra, and after Sumitra, there will be no more sons in the dynasty of the sun god, and thus the dynasty will end. Right? So, thus end the Trivedanta purports of the ninth canto, 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Dynasty of Kusha, the son of Lord Ramachandra. Okay, so this chapter is entirely dedicated to the lineage of Maharaj Kusha. We see how they had um, entire lineage till Sumitra, and it is said also somewhere I had read that some of their descendants are still there, and they also happened to testify in the court when the Ram Janmabhoomi case was going on. So these are the descendants of Prabhu Ram who are going to be there till the end of Kali Yuga, and this is the dynasty of the sun god, right? So that is where Prabhu Ram actually appeared. Right? So yeah, so this is the discussion we will end today here. But if there's something anyone would like to say, I'm like happy to hear discuss. Yeah. Anything anyone would like to say?
No, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the opportunity.
Thank you so
Say my
much,
prayers.
Mataji, for taking the service.
हरि ओम वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः शिल प्रभुपाद की जय शिल गुरुदेव की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, we can end the call.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.